Okay, in this video we're talking about probability still, and in the past, our IB textbook just kind of snuck in expected probability in some particular section or whatever. Their new edition with our new curriculum, it has its own section. Okay, so and they kind of renamed it. So the expected value might be what we would have called this in the past, or might be what an AP Stats course calls it. They put this in a little section called Making Predictions Using Probability. Okay, and so they begin with the idea of talking about, well, how do we find the experimental probability? And I made a video about this a week ago. And so the experimental probability is the number of times the event occurs times the number of trials. Well, so what we can do is we can manipulate this formula and say that our experimental probability multiplied by the number of trials will equal the number of times the event occurs. And this right here, the number of times the event occurs, is just what we say we call that the expected value. Okay, so just because it's the expected value doesn't necessarily mean that life plays out the way that probability would expect, but that's why we call it the expected value. So here's an example. Michael Jordan apparently made 83.53% of his free throws. If he has 18 attempts in one game, if he gets up to the free throw line, sorry, my brain just stopped. If he gets up to the line that 18 times, how many can we expect him to make? Well, we need to change, basically, we just have the experimental probability times his number of trials, and then we can come up with the expected rate. So this section should be pretty straightforward. You kind of fly through this. There's 6 problems in the book, and I expect you to do what you need to do. So jump around, do a few of them. If it was easy, check your answer in the back, then move on with your life. This is not one of the more difficult parts, to be honest with you. So we need to take this percent, turn it into a decimal, 0.8353. We need to multiply that by the number of times that he gets up there. I still don't have a calculator at home, so here is my phone, which is just absolutely lovely. 8353 times, what did we say he got up to there? 18 times. And so we can expect him to make 15. All right, go practice.